Interesting. So we talked last week in the last couple of videos about what was going on with Shannon Sharpe in this lawsuit. As you guys know or may not know, Shannon Sharpe is facing a lawsuit, which I think is not going to end well for him. And he should have settled in the first place. Now, Shannon did try and settle this for $10 million. Obviously, Gabby and her attorney, Tony Buzbee, they said, man, listen, we know why you're offering $10 million. That's because you really should be paying us 20. And we're going to try and get that 20. So lawsuits going forward. There's supposed to be a hearing last week, allegedly. All right, I'm going to get that right. And we're going to talk about why I'm emphasizing allegedly shortly. And here's what was supposed to go down, or what actually is alleged that happened during this hearing, because it looked like Tony Buzbee and his team didn't show up. Let's see what was being reported at that time. Check this out.
Well, David, the first hearing in the lawsuit against Pro Football Hall of Famer Shannon Sharpe taking place today. An anonymous Las Vegas woman suing him for $50 million, saying that he sexually assaulted her. 8 News Now reporter Jessamine Wolf was in the courtroom and shares where the case stands right now.
The first hearing taking place in the building behind me. Only one attorney showing up on behalf of Team Sharpe and no attorney showing up on behalf of Jane Doe. In the courtroom, District Court Judge Anna Albertson expressing her disappointment that the woman who filed the $50 million lawsuit did not have a legal representative present.
Whether to set up perhaps a settlement conference or to set hearings for litigation, you'd expect all parties to be present.
And it was very confusing at the time. We didn't know what was going on. We were going back and forth in the chats and in the comments about what could have possibly happened. This doesn't make sense. Why would they miss this hearing? It seemed important. Well, we actually found out what happened and what went down and why Tony Buzbee and Jane Doe were not present. Check this out. So we have a report from the Daily Mail. And what did they say? The first hearing in Shannon Sharpe's $50 million assault lawsuit delayed as the defense issues an apology to the court. It's not a great start for Shannon Sharpe. Y'all check this out. What happened? What went down? The first hearing of Shannon Sharpe's assault lawsuit in Nevada was derailed Wednesday when the accuser's attorney failed to appear in court, allegedly, right? But his absence has now been explained as a simple miscommunication on behalf of the defense. Okay, let's see what Tony Buzbee had to say about this. Tony Buzbee, the Texas attorney representing Jane Doe suing Sharpe, issued a statement to the Daily Mail explaining that miscommunication. Tony says there was an agreement to reset that hearing with Mr. Sharpe's lead counsel. Buzbee told the Daily Mail in an email, a miscommunication on Sharpe's legal teams obviously occurred. Okay, so again, miscommunication, not a great look for Shannon Sharpe and the team over there. Shannon Sharpe's legal team has since corroborated Buzbee's claim in a statement to the Daily Mail. We are apologizing to the court by letter for wasting the court's time. There was a mutual agreement among counsel to postpone the motion scheduled for July 9th. As a result, there was no expectation by our team that her legal team would appear in person. So one of Sharpe's attorneys, Robert DeMarco, was on hand for the hearing, but Sharpe's other lawyers were out of state and unable to attend, DeMarco told News 8. That Las Vegas news outlet also reported that Judge Anna Albertson expressed her disappointment in Buzbee's absence Wednesday before the miscommunication was revealed. All right, so Tony Buzbee and the team cleared that up. They said, hey, this wasn't us. And Tony, it's hilarious because Tony Buzbee actually came to me and said, hey, man, I know you're just reporting on this, but y'all got it wrong. I don't know if y'all saw this. If you don't follow me on X, make sure you go do that over on X. So I posted the video where we talked about this last week. And in the video, I posed it as a question, and it says Tony Buzbee bails on a critical Shannon Sharpe hearing. And I put a question mark. And even in the thumbnail, you can see that it says, did Tony no show? Right? So Tony Buzbee, he did not like that at all. He was pretty, he was not happy. Y'all check this out. Look what Tony had to say about this. And he posted the article. He replied to my tweet and he said, you seem like a nice guy, my man. He said, your facts are wrong. It was Shannon Sharpe's team that screwed up and apologized in court. And again, I appreciate Tony Buzbee for sending this report. But also, as I said to Tony Buzbee in this response, I did not report this as fact. You guys can go back and look at the video. You can watch it. And many of you were here live when I said it's looking like that this is what's happened and it's alleged. And a lot of times I don't even like reporting on this stuff because we don't know for sure. But when you see a large news outlet report something like this, you could think, oh, okay, well, maybe there's something there to it. But even so, I did my due diligence and I said, hey, just because this is what's being reported, a lot of it doesn't make sense and a lot of it we don't know. So I responded to Tony Buzbee with the clip from the video because it was obvious to me that Tony didn't watch the video or he just wanted to pop off and comment on what I said. I said, hey, Tony, thanks for the update. And I am a pretty nice guy. I said, just to be clear, I did not report this as fact, which I did not. If you look at the thumbnail and even the title, I pose this as a question. This being, did Tony no show or did he not? And I said, and also, if you watch the first 2 minutes of the video, you will see that I use the terms it looks like and allegedly. I'm very careful about the wording I use and practice integrity in reporting before publishing something as fact. And you guys can even hear it here. I'm not going to play the entire video because I know most of you have probably seen it, but this is what I had to say at the beginning of the video where I reported that Tony Buzbee may have missed the court hearing. This situation, Shannon Sharpe has this lawsuit he's supposed to fight. There was a hearing set up for Shannon Sharpe a couple of days ago, and it looks like Tony Buzbee, who's representing Jane Doe, didn't show up. What? Not only did Tony Buzbee not show up, but apparently his client didn't show up either. Let's go ahead and check it out and see what's going on here. This situation, Shannon. All right, so then Tony Buzbee, being an amazing lawyer he is, of course he avoided my response. And this is what he had to say. He said, here's the statement from Sharpe's team. They had to release a statement by Shannon Sharpe's legal team. And that's where we just read. He said, we are apologizing to the court by letter for wasting the court's time. There was a mutual agreement among counsel to postpone the motion scheduled for July 9th. As a result, there was no expectation by our team that her legal team would appear in person. All right. So it looks like Tony had it together on this one. And I've said that from the beginning. Not only did they have it together, but Shannon Sharpe, they got, man, wasting the court's time is never a good look when it comes to these cases. Also, I appreciate some of y'all having my back. Shout out to Actually Ryder said, you said apparently, and let's check it out to see what's going on. And then, of course, all of y'all had to go pop off on Tony Buzbee, which is understandable, especially considering the way that Jay-Z case was handled. But we're not going to get into that today. All right. So again, y'all let me know what you think about this in the comments and in the chat. Is there something there when it comes to Shannon Sharpe's side of the team? I know I talked about this at length and I was very disappointed with the way that Shannon Sharpe handled this whole preemptive attack, it seemed like, leading up to the trial where he issued the apology. I didn't like the apology at all. We had his lawyer who did an interview and talked about it and said, yeah, I wanted him to do that just to kind of get out ahead of things and let people know what was going on. And so they could hear things from his side. And then Shannon Sharpe admits to what's in the video. Shannon Sharpe admits to the relationship. Shannon Sharpe admits to so many things that were going on and alleged in this lawsuit. I don't know why we're moving forward. The $10 million clearly wasn't enough. He should have came to the table with more, in my opinion. Let me know what y'all think in the comments and in the chat.